See, I want to turn to you on this because there is something about watching this. And as a layperson, I look at this and I saw the video of people standing around. And as a layperson, I wonder, I'm witnessing a murder before me if I'm standing there. Legally, if I'm a bystander and I want to go and knock this police officer off Mr. Floyd and save this man's life, but legally, I'm not allowed to do that. So what is the recourse? If you're standing there as a civilian watching a police officer murder someone, you outnumber him. What's the recourse? What are we supposed to do when witnessing something? Like stand back?
I'm glad you asked me that. And I'm also, I was terrified of that question. And as a defense attorney, I can't advise anybody to do something that's against the law. Moreover, it's dangerous. They have the power of guns. And I hate to paint this as a us versus them thing, but melanated people understand that that's largely what it's been historically. So I would advise anybody, record, try to intervene verbally, call 911. Please don't physically intervene.
The media, like you said, they are, like they always do, they're very picky and choosy about what they'll amplify and what they'll mute. And what they'll mute always comports with whatever, you know, the agenda narrative is with the Democrat Party, and what people won't probably hear a lot about in this. I mean, for me, the main thing is, and I think it's going to be what the defense focuses on, will be the fact that he probably most likely could breathe just fine. And he probably, like, I see a lot of people that are kind of like, oh, well, there's some culpability by the policeman and blah, blah. I don't think that at all. Am I alone in that? Like, and it's not a racial thing. Oh, Steve, hey, what's up, buddy? What's up? Only here to troll. Steve, come in the chat, man. Talk with us. I don't see it. So I've watched the video. I've watched all the videos many, many times. And what you see is Floyd is acting insane from the very beginning and before, in the video that you see when he's in the store, and he's saying he can't breathe the whole time. Like, he's like, so like, why would the policeman think that there was any real danger? Because he had been saying that the whole time, right? I don't know. I don't want to get off your point, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like a lot of people out there, they don't really, I don't think they realize that. They don't realize that if he really couldn't breathe, and maybe he couldn't be, it probably was because of the overdose, though, in my opinion. Right. But I'm not, I'm not a doctor or anything. So this is going to go for 4 weeks, so I'm sure we'll see all of that.
Right, and I agree. Like, I think what you're touching on right now is the defense's main objective to explain to the jury, which is that, yes, when you they did an excellent job, I think, early on with the first witnesses that the prosecution called, which was, the strategy was, you only came upon the scene at this certain time. You weren't there before. You weren't there when the interactions transpired before you started recording. You had no idea what was going on, right? You had no idea the conversations that the police were having behind the car. Like, they were trying to show to the jury, these are witnesses that were emotionally agitated by what they saw, but they had a limited understanding of the totality of the circumstances. They had no idea that George Floyd was complaining about not being able to breathe before he was put into that position. And also, I think they did a good job early on by establishing, and you highlighted this in one of your videos, that someone who's being choked out and who cannot breathe cannot have a conversation with someone. So I think they did a great job at sort of bringing that to light, in terms of, if someone's being asphyxiated, they can't breathe, and if they can't breathe, they can't speak. And that's and I think they'll have medical experts to testify to that fact. So if someone's saying, I can't breathe, maybe your breathing is labored for other reasons, but it's not because you're being asphyxiated. Right. So I think that's the point, is how how did George Floyd pass away? Was it because he was being asphyxiated, or was it because he had conditions, health conditions, on top of the chemicals that were in his body, plus the stressful events that were transpiring at the time?
That goes to a lot of what I've been doing videos about forever, is just how the media, they paint this picture that's not necessarily accurate. And your average person out there, whether they're loosely paying attention or they just sort of get it through osmosis through just, you know, going to work every day and the people that hang around, so people can get easily brainwashed, and a lot of people out there really believe that, like, black people are being hunted down and stuff. It doesn't matter what the data and the statistics show. It doesn't matter, because they believe it deeply, and that's a big problem here.
It's like hiding the truth, you know? It's
right.
like...
That's what they're doing. Because it's essentially, the way they've set it up now is that it's even because I feel like a lot of people know it's bullshit, but they think it's racist to go against it. Like, oh, well, if I do that, then I'm hurting black people, so I can't do that. I gotta go, even though I know this isn't true, it's for the better good, and so they justify it to themselves. I think that's going on with a lot of people. And look, I have, if a cop is corrupt, and I'm a sucker for First and Second Amendment audit videos, and I've been a huge watcher of cop block stuff for forever. So, like, I know that cops are out there who are ignorant and are power hungry and are abusing people's rights, but and I'll get behind you if you can prove to me that that is what's going on. But I just am not getting that from this. I'm getting from this entire thing from the beginning that it's mostly manufactured. Now, I'll say it, when I first saw the video, it disturbed me, but as I saw the body cams and I got more perspective, my attitude changed about it. And I also saw what the media was hiding from us, which is how we started the conversation. And ultimately, that's what, because you know there's going to be riots if he gets off, and there'll probably be riots anyway, but in my opinion, it's incited by the mainstream media. And I think that's part of why they won't report everything, because it's like they're so invested in a certain perspective to go against it now, because they set up this whole narrative that if you're against it, you're an evil racist. So now they couldn't ever possibly do it. You see what I mean? Like, they've set up this situation where they painted themselves into a corner.
Right, because they would have to admit that their initial coverage was, they preempted the evidence. And so they jumped the gun, and now they have to sort of like backpedal a little bit and acknowledge that their initial reporting may have not accurately reflected the situation on the ground.